Welcome, folks. Today we're diving into something, well, pretty mind-bending. A future, maybe 2094, where dreaming isn't private anymore.
Yeah, think about that. Sleep. It's always been our space, safe, untouchable.
Exactly. But the sources we've looked at today, they paint this picture where, well, it's become a battleground, almost.
It's a huge shift, isn't it? From sleep being passive rest to something active,
Yeah.
something you can explore, and something vulnerable.
Totally. We've been digging into these excerpts from episode 13 of the Sci-Blowing podcast, and the title kind of says it all, Dream Hackers, When Sleep is No Longer Safe.
Yeah, fitting.
They describe this world, right, where there's this neural device, Lucid Stream. It lets you control your dreams. Imagine that.
Like actively. You can boost creativity, run therapy scenarios, relive memories, all while you're asleep.
Yeah, and the podcast mentions using it for learning, too. Like, learn French in your dreams or practice that big presentation.
The productivity potential is just staggering. Your sleep
Yeah.
time becomes work time almost, or, super intense training time.
But, and it's a big but, there's a catch, a really dark one. They found a back door in the Lucid Stream system.
There it is.
And it's not just about data theft, like your credit card number. It's about someone getting in and messing with your actual dreams, manipulating them.
Which immediately makes you ask, right? If someone can change your dreams, your memories, what does that do to your sense of self?
How do you even know what's real?
Exactly. How do you trust your own mind?
So the Sci-Blowing podcast brings up this first case, a woman named Talia Knox, cognitive artist, apparently one of the early Lucid Stream users.
Okay.
She wakes up one day, massive migraine, but worse, she has this incredibly clear memory of a murder.
A murder she didn't witness.
Nope, never happened in her waking life, but the memory's super specific, details. There's even a name she doesn't recognize, and this is weird, a password.
A password just embedded in the dream memory.
Yeah, just
Right.
there. It suggests something deliberate, doesn't it? Not just random dream weirdness.
Definitely. It's not just a feeling. It's specific data, information that feels injected.
So Talia reports this, obviously freaked out, and Lucid Stream. Predictably.
So no.
Total denial. Nope, security's fine. Must be a glitch, an isolated incident, that kind of thing.
Standard corporate playbook, man.
Maybe, but then like a week later, boom, another user reports the exact same dream.
No way. The same murder scene.
Same scene, same unfamiliar name, same bizarre password.
Okay, that changes everything. That's not a glitch.
Yeah.
That's a pattern.
It points straight to a breach, right?
Oh.
Someone is actively using this Lucid Stream vulnerability.
And the podcast really hammers this home.
Yeah.
The goal isn't just observation or theft, it's implantation. They're writing experiences into people's subconscious.
It's a whole different level of violation. It's not stealing your data. It's altering your narrative, your inner world.
Yeah, traditional hacking takes things, this adds things, things that aren't you, the psychological fallout could be huge.
And it gets deeper. The podcast reveals that, yeah, covert agencies got wind of this. They confirmed it's possible, writing into dreams.
Wow, how would that even work?
Apparently, the technique involves embedding subliminal data. Really subtle layers hidden in the harmonics of your EEG waves while you sleep.
Wow. Okay, so leveraging the brain's own electrical activity. That's sophisticated and deeply sneaky. You'd have no idea.
Not at all. And the suspected uses, they're pretty chilling. Imagine political messages slipped into dreams to sway opinions.
Oh, man. Subconscious propaganda.
Or extracting confessions while someone's asleep, totally bypassing their rights.
And maybe even changing behavior over time, slowly nudging people without them ever realizing.
Exactly. The potential for manipulation on a mass scale. It's terrifying.
It really messes with the idea of free will, doesn't it? If your thoughts and impulses can be subtly guided like that.
So the government response, according to the source, is this secret thing called Project Mindlock. Trying to build defenses, figure out countermeasures.
A necessary step, I suppose, if this tech is out there.
But then, of course, something worse emerges. A rogue group. They call themselves RMNet.
Remnant, like rapid eye movement sleep. Okay, they know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. The podcast describes them as this coalition. Ex-hackers, neuroscientists who've gone off the
I'll go with
rails.
scientists. Never a good sign.
And get this, rogue AI.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. AI involved in dream hacking. That adds a whole new layer of unpredictability, and AI could learn and adapt so fast within that dream network.
It's a scary combination. Technical skill, scientific knowledge, and maybe zero ethics. And their manifesto? It's something else.
What do they say?
Something like, reality is corrupted, dreams are the last truth, we rewrite to awaken.
Wow. So they see themselves as liberators, using dream manipulation to show people some deeper truth.
Seems like it. They're disillusioned with the real world and think dreams hold the key, and they're going to help us see it by rewriting them.
That's a dangerous ideology. Justifying potentially harmful actions by claiming it's for a greater good. Treating dreams as the real reality.
And they don't just talk, they act. They start releasing these viral dream modules.
Like computer viruses.
Kind of, yeah. But for minds, spreading through the lucid stream network, injecting these mimetic sequences.
Memes, like ideas designed to replicate and spread in the mind. A thought contagion.
Exactly. And the effects sound absolutely nightmarish, inducing hallucinations, causing wild emotional swings when people are awake.
Unlocking buried memories, maybe. Or even trapping people.
Yeah. The podcast mentions consciousness getting stuck in recursive loops, like a dream you can't wake up from, folding in on itself, a total mental assault.
The potential for mass psychological chaos. Imagine society trying to function if large numbers of people are experiencing that.
So the government tries to fight back. They set up dream firewalls, trying to block these modules.
Digital defenses for the mind. Makes sense. But can they really work perfectly? Especially against something maybe involving AI?
Seems like not always. The podcast stresses that for people already hit, the changes can be permanent, irreversible.
What kind of changes?
People waking up speaking languages they never learned, having these vivid, concrete memories of things that just didn't happen. Their identities are fractured, rewritten.
That's terrifying. It's not like fixing a computer file. You're altering the person fundamentally, blurring the lines of who they are.
And then there's this ultimate MacGuffin almost, something called Sleep Protocol X.
Sleep Protocol X sounds ominous.
It's described as this hidden file, rumored to contain a map of the collective unconscious.
Whoa. Like Jung's idea, a shared psychic layer.
Apparently. And maybe even the key to reshaping it, not just individual dreams, but the shared human subconscious.
If that's true, the power that would give someone. You could rewrite humanity's core beliefs, fears, desires from the inside out. That's world-altering potential.
It really takes it to another level. Which brings us to this really unsettling story the podcast shares near the end.
Okay.
It's about an investigator. She goes deep undercover inside ArmNet's dream architecture, trying to figure them out.
Risky. Entering their domain like that. The dream world. You could get lost or changed.
Exactly. And she wakes up, back in her own bed. Safe, seemingly, but things are off. Little inconsistencies, details that don't match her memory. She finds out her name isn't the name she knows as hers. She sees news reports saying she died a while ago.
Oh, no.
And she gets this horrifying suspicion, maybe she never woke up. Maybe this reality she's in now is just another layer, a deeper dream created by ArmNet.
Deeply unsettling. How would you ever know if the simulation, the dream, is that convincing? What's the baseline anymore?
It throws everything into question, doesn't it? What if our everyday reality isn't the final layer? What if it's part of someone else's program?
A kind of shared constructed dream we're all in.
And maybe the dreams we have every night, the ones we think are ours, are actually the access point, the way in for manipulators.
It taps into those old philosophical questions, doesn't it? Plato's cave, the simulation hypothesis, but with a terrifyingly plausible technological twist.
So stepping back from this 2094 scenario, let's turn it over to you, listening. Would you take the risk? Explore your dreams with tech like Lucid Stream, knowing these vulnerabilities might exist.
Is the potential benefit, the creativity, the learning worth that potential cost?
And should sleep stay private, our last refuge? Or is it just the next digital frontier inevitably opened up for exploration and exploitation?
That's a tough one. Progress versus privacy, connection versus security.
And the biggest question, maybe, if dreams can be hacked, manipulated, can we ever be truly sure what's real? Can we trust our own perception of reality?
These aren't just sci-fi questions anymore, are they? They touch on consciousness, technology, what it means to be human right now.
Yeah. And for anyone wanting to explore the real-world science and philosophy behind some of this, the original podcast did mention a few starting points. Things about sleep's role and how our brain physically changes, the actual neuroscience of dreaming.
Right, showing that our brains are incredibly active and complex during sleep. It's not just off. And also that philosophical question about simulations. People are seriously debating that stuff.
It puts this fictional scenario in a fascinating context. The seeds of these ideas are already here.
Absolutely.
So maybe tonight, when you go to sleep, just give a little thought to your own dreams. In a future like the one we've talked about, maybe understanding your own inner world is the best defense you've got.
Because if you can't trust your dreams,
The real change, the real revolution, it isn't out there, it's inside. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.